How are you today? Good morning. Good morning, Joe Marion. How's everybody? How everybody's sleepy this morning on a dark, cold Monday morning? Buenos dias, Malia. See, is it dark and cold there too, like it is here? Although the sun's coming up now. How's everybody this weekend or this week? Did you have a good weekend? Well, let me share my background with you today. Okay, so tell me clase A, B, or C. Let me share. ¿Cómo te sientes hoy? ¿Cómo te sientes? A, B, or C? Pop it in the chat, or you can unmute. ¿Cómo te sientes hoy? Ah, muy bien, Brooklyn. Sí. Yo también, Jojo. Mía, ¿cómo te sientes hoy? See, oh no. Okay, so we got one of everybody. Perfect. All right, so what are we doing today, you guys? We are, first of all, the first thing that we're going to do is review for our quiz, right? Repasamos para la prueba, que va a ser miércoles, which we will have on Wednesday, okay? And so we'll review with that. And then we're going to do a couple of more practices just to get us ready for the quiz, because last week y'all told me that you were still feeling kind of iffy. So I thought we'd just spend a little more time today. And then we're going to start doing a little like a writing workshop. We haven't done very much in terms of writing on our own. And so I want us to just collaborate a little bit, make mistakes, edit, them together, right? Let's just kind of work it out together and see what we need to do so we can practice some writing skills, because writing and speaking are the two more difficult ones of our four skills, right? Listening, reading, speaking, and writing. So reading is the easiest. Speaking and writing, of course, are the more difficult ones. Okay, so we'll spend a little bit of time today just on a practice writing. Okay, all right. Any questions, you guys? Preguntas. Okay, now you know how I do, where I always, you guys, give you or let you look at, I should say, the actual quiz, so that there's no surprises. I don't like surprises. Buenos dias, Arshad. So I'll pull it up. Y'all can take a look at it. That way there's no questions or anything weird on Wednesday when we have this quiz. And then you'll know what you need to look at in terms of maybe vocab that you might need to study or something like that. And if we have time at the end of the hour today, you will have some work time if there's something that you still need to turn in. Okay, no problem. All right, let me get myself organized here. And Arshad, I hope you're doing all right today. Let's see. All right. So take a look at my screen. This will be your Wednesday quiz, your prueba. So the first part, you guys, will be just a simple matching, relaciona, right? So where you match the body part to the image, to the name rather, okay? So that's pretty easy peasy. I don't know if y'all can see this, if this is big enough for you to see. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. There we go. And then in the second part of the quiz, which is what we're going to kind of focus on today one last time, is you're going to need to fill in the blank with those verbs. So which verb fits best, which means you have to kind of know the body parts here, okay? Yeah, that's going to be the clue, is essentially matching the body part with the sense. If it's listening, or rather hearing, tasting, smelling, you know, whatever. So you just fill in the blank, make a choice. And then you'll have another matching where you match the person with, or the subject with, the proper form of the verb. So we need to know those verb forms. So we're going to give it one last practice today. And then in the fourth section, you will choose. They'll give you the verb, right? You'll need to choose which one is the correct form, which one makes the most sense. And then in the last section, you have to come up with it yourself, right? So it's always a sort of graduated thing. So in the last section, you'll need to type it in yourself, which means that spelling plays in here. Okay. And they do give you a little clue with a little image here, right? So you'll need to make sure you know how to use the correct form. Okay. So that's going to probably take us all of Wednesday. And if not, you know, that's cool. Okay. All right. Any questions about the quiz on Wednesday? You can unmute or just pop it in the chat, whichever you prefer. Okay. All right. So I have a little thing to try to kind of wake us up this morning. Let me make sure I have the right one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start. There we go. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. And we're just going to kind of warm up a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to click, we'll do the first one together, right? I'm going to click the first one. And who can tell me what is the verb to taste? What is the verb to taste? The hint is it starts with the letter S as in Sam. I would try to challenge myself. I wouldn't use notes or anything with this. I would just challenge myself because that's going to tell me how, you know, what I need to study. Okay. Starts with the letter S as in Sam. What is the verb to taste? And don't worry about spelling. Just pop it in the chat or feel free to unmute. Arshad, do you remember Mia? Come on, you guys, I need you to wake up. I know it's Monday. What is our verb to taste? Okay, that's close. Joe, that's close. You're on the right track. Starts with the letter S. Okay, Malia, that's close too. So if we can remember that flavor is the word sabor, flavor, right? And so our verb to taste, saborear, saborear. Okay. All right, you guys, let's try another one. Okay, who can tell me what this means in English? Remember, it's the senses, right? Speaking, or rather, saying, hearing, tasting. Okay, it's the senses. So, that helps you kind of narrow it down. Very good, Malia. Okay, very good, Jo Marion. Tell me who. Is it I? Is it you? Is it they? Is it we? Make sure that you tell me who. Very good. Anybody else? Arshad, I need to hear from you. Very good. So it's plural, en, right? Our verb is decir, to say. So it's an IR verb. And so dicen is going to be the plural, right? So it's either going to be they say or you all, ustedes, dicen, right? Okay, good. All right, let's go on. Okay, ooh, slowing down here. All right, veil. Veil, what does this mean? Veil. Very good, Joe. Very good, Malia. Ends in an O, so that narrows down who. We just need to remember what is the action. Very good, Arshad. Right. It's yo veo, and therefore I see. Okay. So you guys, if it ends in an O, it's like it goes with yo. I mean, that's kind of easy to remember. Okay. So we would just need to know what the verb means. So yo veo, I see. Okay. Muy bien. Olimos. What's it mean? Olimos. Well, it's imos, so that kind of helps narrow it down, but we just need to figure out what verb it is. Olimos. Very good, Brooklyn. Very good, Malia. Yeah, that's the correct verb. So what does this mean? What does olimos mean? Yeah. So oler is to smell. If it's imos, it's nosotros. And so we smell, right? We smell the flowers, we smell the coffee, we smell. Okay. Bueno. All right. How do I say? Now, before you answer, let's think about it. I say. So remember, if it's I, it's going to be yo, likely ending in an O. But remember that these are kind of irregular. So what does it become? Do you remember? I say. Well, who remembers what is the verb for to say? Because we just had that here a second ago. Good, Jo Marion. What is the verb to say? Do you remember that one? Yeah, good, Arshad. So our verb is decir. It's an IR verb, right? But it's irregular. So in the yo form, digo, yo digo, digo. It's a go verb, right? And it's got that irregular stem. De becomes di, right? So digo, digo. Okay, so if you had trouble with that one, you guys make yourself a note. I need to look at the forms of decir, okay? Before this quiz on Wednesday, right? Okay. What's it mean? Oyen. Oyen. Remember, it's the senses. Smelling, tasting, hearing, seeing, etc. Very good, Joe Marion. Oyen. Very good, Malia. Anyone else? Oyen. Good, Brooklyn. Right. So if our verb oír, our verb is oír, which is to hear. And remember, it was oigo, and then the I becomes a Y. Oyes, oye, right? Anybody remember the nosotros form? Oímos, and then oyen. So this is they hear, or ustedes, you all hear. Okay. So again, if you struggle with that one, make yourself a note. Okay. Tú ves. What's it mean? Tú ves. Very good, Brooklyn. Good, Joe Marion. Leah, Arshad. Tú ves. What's it mean? Yeah, good. You see, right? The verb is ver. It's an ER verb. So the tú form is going to end in an ES, right? Tú ves. You see. Very good. Okay, a couple more here, you guys. Well, I just gave you that answer, so let's skip that one. It was ver, right? Okay, what is this? Toca. Toca. Yeah, very good. Do you know who, Joe Marion? Okay. Leah, Arshad, toca. Yep. Do you know who, Arshad? Can you tell me who is doing the action? Okay. All right. Yeah, it is to touch, right? Tocar. Tocar. It's a regular AR verb. So our endings OASA, right? Amos and on. So OASA. So it's going to be él toca, ella toca, or usted toca, right? So he or she is touching or touches, okay? He or she. The other thing about this one is we also use this when we like play an instrument, right? Because if you think about it, you would like play the piano, don't you touch the piano keys, right? So in Spanish, they use this for like playing an instrument as well, okay? So very good. Tocar. Okay. Oye. 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 What's the verb and then who's doing it? Malia or Shad, what do you think? Yep, it is the verb oír. So I just need you to tell me who's doing that action. Malia, what do you say? Oye. Come on, y'all. I need you to focus here. Okay. So oye is to hear. If it's an IR verb, it's OESE. So this is he hears, she hears, right? Él oye, ella oye, or usted oye, right? He or she hears. Okay. We need to start looking at these verb endings, right, you guys? Okay, one more. All right. Who remembers what is this verb? Yep. Good, Brooklyn. What is this verb? Mia, Arshad, or Jamarian? What is this verb? Yeah, very good. Yes, it's tocar, right? Tocar. And we just talked about it. And we said it means to touch, but it also means to play like a musical instrument, right? Because, like, again, the piano is the best example. If you touch the keys, right, you're playing the piano. Okay. All right. Any questions, you guys? Any questions? I'm going to switch gears here. All right, let me line up something else. Well, let me take roll. Guess that'd probably be the best thing to do too, right? We take a little rain break. All right. Next thing I would like us to do, let's do a little more in-depth something. Oh, I gotta remember my password. What is my password? Remembering passwords on a Monday morning, you guys, not always easy. Okay. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Okay. Okay, this one's different from the other day. So let's all get logged in. And give it one last push. Okay, check the chat, please. Joe and Mia, join us, por favor. There's only 4 of us, so we need everybody's full attention. All right, here we go. Let's practice, you guys. All right, Brooke. I like that dog's ears. All right. Good job, Joe Marion. Good job. You got about a little over 2.5 minutes left. Minute and a half. Make it count. 30 seconds. Ten seconds. Make it count. Jamarion's in the lead. All right. Good job. Good job, you guys. Muy bien, muy bien. Got 8,000 pieces of candy. Look at you. Okay, let's go ahead and back out of that. So you guys give me a clue on a scale of 3, 2, 1. How are you feeling about this quiz on Wednesday? 3, I got it. 1, I'm not so sure. 3, 2, 1. How are you feeling about this quiz? Okay. Malia and Brooklyn, what do you say? All right, good. All right, you guys. So what I would like for y'all to do, por favor, is to meet me in Canvas real quick. Head on over to Canvas. We're going to start this kind of writing practice. And it should be the very last thing, of course, that you see in the module. It says writing. Oh, I misspelled it. Workshop, not workship. Okay. So give me a thumbs up when you're there. Give me a thumbs up when you're there, por favor. It's on my screen. Arshad, Malia, Brooklyn. Let me know. All right, Brooklyn's there. Anybody else? Joe, do you see it? Mia? Okay, thank you. All right. So at some point, you guys, you're going to need to open the visual guide if you want to see the verbs. And that's all part of this, right? Is to help us practice. So here's what these are your instructions, essentially. Okay. So choose a format of your choice. It can be a slide. It can be just a plain old Google Doc or a Cami thing. I don't really care. Okay. Whatever you feel comfortable with, right? And I'm going to ask you to write 3 sentences, but we cannot use Chat GPT. We cannot use Translate or whatever, because that defeats the purpose, right? We have to problem solve ourselves. Okay. You need to use yo, tú, ellos, and ellas. And you need to use oler, oír, and decir. Okay. I don't care what the sentences are about. I mean, obviously they're limited to the verb. Okay. But after you get your sentences written, I would like for you to illustrate your sentences by including images to convey the meaning of your sentence. Does that make sense, you guys? Yes. So if my sentence was, tú tocas el piano, right? You are playing the piano. Then I would have like a picture of somebody playing the piano. If I said, tú tocas el piano en la mañana, right? You play the piano in the morning. I would have a picture of somebody playing the piano in like a sunrise or something like that. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Clase? Sí o no? 3 sentences. They don't have to be fancy. It's the idea of practicing writing. Maybe challenge yourself. Make one negative, right? Maybe make one negative. Okay. Whatever you like, but you have to use oler, oír, and decir, and you have to use yo, tú, ellos, and ellas. Now, I'm going to be watching in Go Guardian because this is supposed to be like a workshop. So I'm going to be watching in Go Guardian. I'm going to be maybe giving you some feedback, or if you ask a question, I can answer your question. Okay. And then toward the end of the hour, we can share out one of our sentences with each other. Okay. Again, this is writing practice. This is asking for help, like a workshop, not a workship, and practicing those verbs, etc. Once we finish this, if we still have class time, then obviously you would have work time to catch up on any missing assignments or anything like that. Okay. We do have progress reports coming out. I think it's November 12th. So that's just a couple of weeks away. So if you have missing stuff, you really probably ought to get it done. Okay. Any questions about what we're doing? And when you are finished with your thing, you're going to come back to this assignment, right, you guys? And you're going to submit it here, right? So I can take a look at it. Okay. All right. Any questions about what we're doing? All right. So pick your format. Oler, oír, and decir. So maybe you need to go to that visual guide in Canvas and open up the forms if you're not sure of the yo, tú, ellos, or ellas, and then illustrate them. Okay. All right. That's what we're working on, you guys. Everybody should be working on writing. Yeah, you can pull up your guided notes that's got like all your vocab in one spot. You have those visual guides in the resource library or in the module, whatever helps, whatever works for you. Let me know if you need help finding something, because this is meant to be a group effort. Okay, so just pop it in the chat or unmute, whatever you need. Remember, you guys, you have your resource library stuff as well. Hey, Mia, do you need help finding something? Let me know. Joe, how are you doing? Let me know if you need help finding something to help you out. Remember, we're focusing on only oler, oír, and decir, right? So make sure you follow those instructions. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Remember, you guys, to title your document, right? And then you need to go into the Canvas and upload it, but don't put it away because I would like for us to share one of our sentences when we're all done. And if you do finish, you can go ahead and work on any missing assignments or whatever. Hey, if you need a word, if you need a something, you guys let me know. We're supposed to be working on this together. Need help. How we doing? Hey, muy bien, Malia. Good job. Good progress. Jamarian, how are you doing? Don't forget to put an image or two to translate, do like a visual translation of your sentence. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything kind of grandiose, but if you're using those verbs that I gave you, so they're kind of limited to that. So think about you smell flowers, you smell some kind of food, maybe you know the vocabulary for food. Um, you hear um, the birds singing, you hear, think of that story, that paragraph that we did, you hear music, you hear your dad talking or your mom talking, or I don't know, whatever we hear. Um, Decir is to say. So you could say, like, I say to my dog, hello. I say to, whatever, right? He says, or they say, the food is good. I don't know. It doesn't have to be anything great, right? Just words that we know, right? Words that you think you know. And you can go to the resource library and just see if you get some hints out of there, right? I say hello with my mouth. I hear music with my ears. I don't know, whatever you want, whatever strikes fancy. Or maybe, Jamarian, start with the picture, like do it the other way, you know? find a picture and then try to write a simple sentence with the picture if it's vocabulary that we know, right? Okay, thank you, Malia. So hang on, I mean, make sure that you submit it and then hang on and hopefully we'll have time to share out before the bell rings. Yeah, don't forget to title your document, you guys. Jamarian, check the chat. In English, just give me something. Just anything at random, Jamarian. Okay. So that's it. Put it together, right? Okay. Can you put it up on Go Guardian? Okay. So let's do this. Instead of using like, because what we need to try to do in all of them, I mean, like is fine for one, but what we need to do is we need to become familiar with the forms of the verbs themselves, right? Because if we use to like, then we know that those forms are going to be in the original, right? Like me gusta oír la música or whatever, right? What we need to figure out is how to use, for example, oír in a sentence, right? So real simply, okay, if I say, and yeah, so and also, well, let me just type it in the chat here. Okay, so set that aside a minute, Brooklyn, check the chat, and then just kind of set that aside a minute, right? So if my instructions are, and let's just start with the first verb, right? Oler. Okay, oler, to smell, right? And let's say I smell, I don't know, a cookie. Okay, I'm just picking a word, right? So if my instructions say to use either yo, tú, or ellos, let's just start with yo. Okay. Right, Brooklyn? So looking in Canvas, can you tell me what is the form for I smell? How would I spell it? Because it's irregular. How would I spell it? look in your charts in the canvas. Olaire. That's here, to here. That's oir. We're talking about Olaire. O-L-E-R, Olaire. Okay. So, and then what did I say? I smelled cookies, right? Okay, check the chat. So that's an example, right? You just follow the prompt I gave you in your instructions, match the form, and then just finish it up. Okay, so I smell cookies. That's it. Does that make sense? Is that easier? Okay. Okay, guys, that's our time. Remember, our quiz is Wednesday. If you can get study for your quiz and get these sentences done on Wednesday, then we can finish up everything we need to do for that first section of Unit 5 that we've been working on. Okay? All right, you guys, preguntas? All right. Have a good day. Nos vemos miércoles. Let me know if you have any questions. Just reach out. Okay? Adios a todos. Have a great day. Adios.